Food is one of life's simple pleasures, and it should be enjoyed. But it's hard to enjoy the eating experience if you feel guilty about eating certain foods. Thankfully, you can get rid of guilt by saying goodbye to forbidden foods and instead giving yourself unconditional permission to eat all foods. This is called making peace with food, and it's a principle of intuitive eating. Feeling guilty about food doesn't really make sense. Food keeps you alive, nourishes your body, and gives you energy. It brings pleasure and enjoyment on its own, as well as enhancing other pleasant activities, holidays, and celebrations. The only reason to feel guilty about food is if you steal it, and this is pretty unlikely. But in our culture, guilt about food is widespread. So what makes people feel guilty about food? It has become common in our culture to blame certain kinds of foods for a variety of health problems. However, this belief does not acknowledge the complexity of health and unnecessarily demonizes many enjoyable, nutritious foods. For example, we know that diets that are high in saturated fat are correlated with a higher risk of cardiovascular disease. However, there are many other factors that can improve cardiovascular health besides decreasing saturated fat intake, such as managing stress, exercising frequently, maintaining close emotional bonds, and getting adequate sleep. As you can see, food is not the only factor in cardiovascular health. Lowering saturated fat intake may also be a good move, but focusing only on food choices is not a very effective approach. Since foods that are high in calories, carbohydrates, or fat are wrongly attributed to higher weights and poor health outcomes, it's not surprising that they've become the enemy. It has become common to eliminate or restrict high-fat foods, desserts, and the like, and to settle for less appealing options. Even if you're not on a diet, you might feel compelled to reduce your consumption of these types of foods, or you might associate eating them with low willpower. But restricting food actually leads to several unintended consequences. Problem 1. Restricting certain foods can cause stress. While there are many studies that support the links between diet and health, it's not emotionally healthy to completely cut certain foods out of your diet or to feel guilty about eating them. Just to be clear, I'm not referring to food allergies here, but the stress, social isolation, and other negative effects that come from dieting are not good for your mental health, social connection, or your own self-trust around food. Problem 2. Restricting foods can create uncontrollable cravings. Food cravings are normal and they're neither good nor bad. They're simply signals that the body desires certain nutrients, flavors, or other qualities of a food. Often, avoiding or depriving yourself of a certain food influences the intensity and frequency of your cravings for it. Ignoring cravings can cause them to become stronger. As a result, deprivation often leads to desperation, an intense desire for the forbidden food. Problem 3. Restricting certain foods violates your autonomy. Feeling deprived has a powerful impact on your body and mind. It not only causes the body to miss out on the satisfying flavors and nutrients from the restricted foods, but it also creates an inner conflict in your mind. Deprivation violates your sense of independence by telling you what you can and cannot do, or in this case, what you can and cannot eat, and can lead to a subconscious desire to rebel. As you can see, restricting food can result in many negative problems and can make you feel like you're at war with your body. It also sets you up for failure, creating a scenario in which out-of-control eating is likely to occur. In part 2 of this workshop, we'll look at ways to avoid this negative cycle and start rebuilding trust with yourself and food. Thanks for watching. I'm Christy with NuStart.